when it comes to like really good stuff, like, okay, so for the first year that we got married, we both gained 50 pounds.
Oh.
I didn't know food could taste that good. It was a little bit unnerving, but it wasn't anything that God wasn't preparing me for. I already had everything all packed and ready to go. So if you give me food and it has seeds in it, I will plant them just to see what happens. The one that changed my life, I never even mentioned the name of this book.
Hey, oh my goodness, you're watching a YouTube channel, my Main Street interview with Heather O'Brien. So thank you, Heather, for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Can you tell people to subscribe?
Yes. Make sure that you like and subscribe.
I know, you're like, okay, a little bit left field random. That's not all bad, though. So, like, you left your home in the eye of a hurricane to fly to Denver. Did that make you nervous?
It was a little bit unnerving, but it wasn't anything that God wasn't preparing me for. I already had everything all packed and ready to go. So I just got ready in the dark and made it here. It wasn't too bad.
So where do you live?
I live in Hayhira, Georgia. It's at the very bottom of Georgia, really close to the Florida line.
Jacksonville? Close to Jacksonville?
It's 2 hours from Jacksonville.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you say this?
Hayhira.
Hayhira.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of name is that?
I don't know. Country.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
How many people live in Hayhira, Georgia?
Not many. It's a very small town, but it's right next to Valdosta, which is a larger town, maybe 1 million people there.
Huh. And how'd you wind up in Hayhira, Georgia? I just want to say that.
Yeah. Well, you're doing really well at saying it because, I mean, anytime I get someone call and try to get me to buy something, they call it, so they have all kind of fun names for it, but you are doing really well.
Uh-huh.
I got there because my family land was there. My mom grew up there. We live out on we call it a farm, but there's nothing really going on. It's just a lot of land. And she always wanted to retire out there. So once my dad retired, we moved out there, and that's been since I was in middle school. So that's where I grew up, and then I built the house right next to my parents.
Huh. So, do you like have a garden? Is it like
I do like plants, okay, but I'm not good at it. That's actually one of my fun pastimes is playing with plants, watching them grow. I have a lot of them. But I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how, I just like it.
Yeah.
I like watching them grow. And I'm always really attracted to plants that multiply. They have seeds that fall off, or bulbs that come up. I love watching them multiply because it reminds me of Jesus and multiplying disciples. And anyways, but I don't really know what I'm doing. I make sure and always have that disclaimer, but I have had a garden before just to see what would happen. And I do plant seeds. So if you give me food and it has seeds in it, I will plant them just to see what happens.
Do they grow?
Yeah, but sometimes they do. And so, like, for instance, avocado seeds, I've got a ton of avocado plants, but they don't have any fruit on them.
Huh.
They just look really pretty, though, and you can have them around your house. Lemon seeds, I turned into lemon trees. There are some seeds that I have planted and have no idea what they are. I did not mark them at the time because I just didn't expect anything to happen. And now I got some really cool plants growing, but I don't know what they are.
Interesting. Huh. So before you moved to Hayhira, Georgia, where did you live before that?
Okay, so I got to start. So I was born in Texas, then went to California, then Oklahoma, and then Georgia.
Oof.
Yeah. But I was all young during then.
Yeah. And why is so much moving?
My dad was in the civil service, so we just moved with his job.
Okay. And what kind of stuff did he do?
He did some of everything. I don't know that I could even use words to describe exactly what he did.
Yeah. And did your mom also work?
Yeah, she was a nurse. So she actually takes care of mamas after they give birth.
Oh.
And she even took care of me after I gave birth. She was my nurse.
Wow.
She worked the night shift my whole life.
Oof.
Yeah.
That's a pretty cool thing.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah. And so, like, after birth, those first 48 hours, I mean, I know for moms, that's like, ooh.
Yeah, it's a lot of servant work.
Mhm.
And I didn't realize what she did until, she was taking care of me.
Yeah.
But it's like, wow, you did this all this time? I
Yeah.
had no idea. But it's a servant's heart that can do
It's
what
true.
she did.
It's
Mhm.
true. It's true. Because, I mean, man, I remember having my kids. Oof, wow. Then, especially after my first one, because you just don't know. You don't know what
You
you
know,
don't
that's
know.
exactly
And you're
right.
just a deer in headlights, like, oh my goodness,
Mhm.
what just happened?
Yes,
It's a big deal.
it is. I remember the first, and she was taking care of me with my first. So
Wow.
it worked out well.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So, how many kids do you have?
I have 3,
Yeah.
all boys.
Uh huh.
10 years between the first and the last. And so there's a little bit of a gap there.
Yeah.
But yeah, all boys. They act like boys.
And what's the age range? I mean, I
So
know they're 10 years, but
yeah, okay. So my oldest just turned 17, and my
oh,
youngest is going to turn 7 at the end of this month.
yeah.
Yeah.
So then you have elementary and senior in high school
That's right.
and then middle school?
Well, okay. So no, my middle child is in basically the 9th grade. He took
Yep.
some 9th grade last year, and we'll finish it this year.
Yep.
And he's 14.
Yeah. That's fun. That's a nice kind of break and range of kids.
It is.
And they have interests? Are they sporty? What are they like?
I've got them all in piano, and
Huh.
I'm homeschooling them.
Yeah.
So between all of the different ministries that I have to help and be in charge of and things, and sports was never really their thing. We started adding piano to their schoolwork, and they're really good at it. Now, my last one, my one that's almost 7, he's starting his lessons next week. So he hasn't actually started, but it's in the plan.
Yep. So the one who's 17, how long has he been playing?
Well, not as long as the middle child.
Oh.
The middle child started doing so well that he was like, oh, I can do that.
Huh.
He started playing the trumpet in middle school. Not trumpet, trombone.
The sliding
really,
one.
No, what's the really big one? I can't
French
remember.
horn?
No, it's like the
bassoon?
trombone. No, it's not. Anyways, tuba.
It's a tuba.
One of those things. One of those things that's really big and hard to carry. He did that in middle school when we were in school.
Yeah.
And then after COVID and stuff, I started homeschooling him. And so he couldn't continue that.
Yeah.
But we were able to do the piano lessons. So they love the competition.
Yeah.
So they're,
Yeah.
I'm better than you. I'm better. And that helps.
Yeah.
That
Kinda
helps.
spur them on.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah.
And what's with why did you choose to homeschool?
That's part of my story that was never something I wanted to do. In fact, my mom laughs at me to this day. She remembers, I don't remember saying this, but she remembers me saying, I will never homeschool.
Yeah. Never say never.
And she laughs and laughs. And I'm
Mhm.
like, so you got to know it's a God thing when you're doing something you never wanted to do.
Yeah.
I felt led by God to do that whenever my middle child was in 2nd grade. And he wasn't doing well socially. He was always in trouble. It just wasn't really meant for him. Pulled him out after I felt the Lord telling me to start homeschooling him. And sure enough, he needed to go to the next grade. He wasn't able to really stay sitting still in 2nd grade because he really needed to go to the next grade. But I started homeschooling him when I had my last one. So I had a tiny little infant and learning how to homeschool. And I kept the oldest in school until the COVID started. And then I already knew what I was doing at that point. So I started pulling them all in. So now I've graduated the oldest one. He graduated when he was 16. He's in a whole different playing field than the rest of us. But he's in college. He's in his 2nd year of college, finishing that. And he's just turned 17. So that's really cool.
Wow.
And yeah.
Interesting.
So it's just an adventure.
Yeah. And do you like the homeschool? Do you like doing it, or what are your thoughts?
Okay. I do like it. I like the flexibility that it allows me to do things like this. I can teach them from anywhere, and the lessons are already pre-planned. I am a teacher at heart, but really for the Bible, not for schoolwork. That's what I have found. But I have found a plan that really helps me. It's already planned out for me. Just do this, this, and this. Pick these subjects and go for it. And it's all online. They can do it themselves even. Well, the littlest one still needs my help, but it's it's working.
Yeah. Nice.
I think I'm in my 7th year of it, so
Wow.
it's working.
Very nice. So do you do any of the co-op stuff with the homeschooling? Because sometimes people will like take pieces and parts. You do any of that?
Yeah, well, that's the fun thing with one of the reasons that I pulled my kid out was he's not really all that sociable
Yeah.
to I don't want to speak bad about him, but he's difficult for other people. And so no, we're not doing co-op.
Yeah.
We do a lot of church events. I got a
Okay.
lot of people in church who are very aware of the situation and can help and with compassion and
Sure.
yeah.
Very nice. And do
Yeah.
you like to cook?
Um I like to bake.
Hmm.
I do like to cook, but I'm not great at it. And
Yeah.
I'm not very good at it. I like to bake. I like doing sweet stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Favorite thing that you bake?
So one of the best things is the banana nut bread. I can do that pretty good, but I still use box cake mix and a
Sure.
few extra ingredients.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What extra ingredients?
Cinnamon and
Mhm.
bananas.
Hmm.
Like the box doesn't say to add it, but
Right.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it makes it extra moist. And
Nice.
yeah, it tastes homemade.
So then what do you do for like you don't like to cook, but obviously you're gonna have to feed people. So what does
Do
dinner
have a
look
lot
like
of
at your
mouths
home?
to feed. Oh, I get made fun of for all this. You're pulling it out of me. I buy a lot of prepackaged things. We go to Sam's. I don't know
Yeah.
if y'all are familiar. It's like there's a lot of prepackaged, ready to go meals that are frozen, so you have a lot of options there. I can cook hamburger meat and turn it in with add taco seasoning
Sure.
and make a ton of different options with that. My kids love mac and cheese.
Yep.
And so you can add Spam to it, tuna, or this taco flavored hamburger meat, and either like not all together, but those are different options
Uh-huh.
with mac and cheese as the base. And that's always a kid favorite. If
Yeah.
it has tuna and noodles, they're really good to go with that. But no vegetables.
No.
Can't have anything crunchy, can't have anything with color. So as long as
Interesting.
it's bland, I'm good to go.
Yeah.
And then I get to make a salad for me.
Yeah. Do you do grill at all?
My
No grilling.
husband does.
Yeah.
So he's really good at cooking.
Yeah.
He's actually the one who knows how to cook.
Yeah.
So when it comes to like really good stuff, like, okay, so for the first year that we got married, we both gained 50 pounds.
Oh.
I didn't know food could taste that good. Like literally. I didn't know. And so have you ever had this meal? You're like, I've got to have seconds of that.
Yeah.
That was every night. He would cook something like that.
Ooh.
I don't eat like fried pork chops and things I had never heard of, never experienced. And yeah, literally 50 pounds. I'm not exaggerating. Yeah.
That's fun. Well, where is he from?
It's fun. He's from a really small town in Georgia too called Waycross. So it's like an hour and a half away.
Huh. So did he grow up cooking? How do you know?
Yeah, his mom is a really good cook and he just learned from the best.
Huh.
Mhm.
Well, that's fun.
Yeah, it is.
And do you guys do vacations at all?
We have done a little bit here and there. It's not travel is not necessarily something we're doing all the time.
No.
We took a long trip to Texas last year in the car with all the kids. And it was a fun adventure to go hang out with some friends that moved out there. And of course, the beach is pretty close to us. So that's kind of a yearly thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And your kids like the beach and swimming?
Of course. And we have a pool. So this year we had to fix
Oh.
the pool.
Yeah.
A lot of different parts that had to be fixed. And we decided this is our vacation. So every single day this summer we went swimming.
Nice.
Like, this is our vacation.
Yeah,
And so I got a nice tan and
That's fun.
Mhm.
And last question, do you like to read?
I do. It's really funny because I never did growing up. I hated reading. I'm not good at it, very slow reader. But when I got older, part of my healing and deliverance story was devouring spiritual books with this content that I didn't grow up with, learning all the different things. So it's mostly spiritual books that I'm
Yeah.
reading. Yeah.
And your favorite spiritual book? Don't say the Bible because everybody says the Bible.
Sure. The one that changed my life, I never even mentioned the name of this book. I always say it's a book on spiritual warfare. It's called Spirit Wars by Chris Valentin.
Oh, yeah.
I read it and I literally got delivered while reading it.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
cool. Very cool.
Yes.
And I lied. This could be my last question. So what is your oldest son studying in college?
He wants to be a computer engineer at this point.
Mhm.
It does change
Sure.
pretty often because he's so young and they
Yeah.
forced him to pick. But
Yeah.
he's doing that. He's doing all the hard math classes and acing them. So we'll see.
Yeah. That's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun to see what your kids kind of explore and they put their toe in the water. I like this. I don't like this. Yeah. It's kind of fun. I like that.
Yep. It has been an
Nice.
adventure. He
Nice,
started
nice,
with
nice.
psychology and I was like, okay, you can try it. And he was like, no, okay,
Not doing that.
not doing that. And
Mhm.
there was a few other adventures, but I
Mhm.
think we might be sold out on engineering. We'll see.
I understand. Life is an adventure and it's
Yes.
fun to kind of explore.
For sure.
Nice, nice, nice. Well, thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Make sure you hit the notification bell right there. Hello? Because we will keep you posted with new content. And how about a little joke? This one's kind of sketchy. So how come thieves do not break into the houses of politicians? Professional courtesy. All right. Keep watching, and thanks for subscribing.